Hello friends, I am Ruby Uniyal, Head, Department of Psychology, KTHM College, Nasik. In this video, we will take a look at the overview of the syllabus for the paper Health Psychology. This is the general paper for class S.Y.B.A in the semester 3. Friends, before we have a detailed discussion on the syllabus, let us first understand the structure of the course of SYBA. Now, this structure is based on the CBCS pattern that is approved and given by Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. This pattern or this system is called as the CBCS pattern, that is the choice-based credit system. Now friends, here you all have got compulsory English paper that is compulsory for everyone. The second paper you have is on environment awareness. Apart from these two compulsory papers, all of you have got 4 papers of the subject that you have chosen as your special subject. So if you have chosen psychology as your special subject, you have to study 4 papers in psychology at the special level, and you have another 2 subjects that you are going to study at general level from among those subjects that you had in your first year BA. Now, for the students of psychology special in the semester 3, you all have got one paper, the first special paper, that is DSC 1A, that is discipline specific subject. This is Psychology of Abnormal Behavior Part 1, in which you are going to study about all the disorders, the various mental disorders, the diagnosis, the symptoms, and also few therapies which are related to these disorders. Then you have second paper, which is your special paper, DSC 2A, which is Developmental Psychology. So in this paper, you are going to study the development of human beings right from the time of conception to death. So it is from the womb to the tomb, we are going to study the human development. The next paper that is based on your psychology is skill based, and it is the third paper is the general paper, which is health psychology, in which we are going to study about the different habits that will promote good health, that is physical, mental and emotional well-being, and also the absence of disease. Friends, this paper has become a very important paper in today's times because it has to deal with your healthy habits, or it's going to talk about those habits which will help you lead a normal and healthy mental life. Then you have the fourth paper, which is based on skills. It is health promotion life skills. It is rightly said, begin with the end in mind. So friends, before we discuss about the syllabus of health psychology paper, let us first have a look at what are the learning outcomes or what are the objectives of this particular paper. So the learning outcomes can be spelled as follows. After the completion of this course, students will be able to understand health psychology and arrive at the introduction to the role of psychology in health. That is, once you have read this particular paper thoroughly, you will be able to understand what exactly health psychology is and what is the role of psychology in maintaining good health. Secondly, it helps the students to understand the nature of stress and coping, which means in this syllabus we will be going through the concepts of stress and also coping strategies of stress. In today's times, these are some very important issues that every individual has to deal with. Each one of us faces stress at some time of life, and we have to find ways and means for coping the stress. The third point here is that this course will also help us to understand various factors that are related to health and disease. So an important aspect of remaining healthy is to keep ourselves away from diseases. This paper will also help us to inculcate certain habits that would help us to lead a healthy life. And lastly, it helps to understand quality of life and promoting the good health. So the ultimate aim of this paper is that each one must understand the concept of quality of life, and at the same time we must also know certain points that will help us to promote good health, both physical and mental. So let me tell you that in this paper we will be having 4 units. The first unit is an introduction to health psychology. In this chapter, we will be studying the further points. The first one is health psychology, the definition, nature, and aims. The second is biopsychological model of health. So once we have seen what exactly is the definition of health psychology, what are the different definitions that have been given by different organizations with regards to health psychology, we will study the nature of health psychology in detail and what are the objectives or the aims to study health psychology. The second point over here is the biopsychosocial model of health. So here we will be studying how health is also related to our biology, our psychology and the society. So there are different factors that play an important role in our health and we would be studying them in detail over here. The third point in this unit is psychology's role in health, problems in the healthcare system, the person in health and illness, how the role of psychology emerged, and progress in health psychology's goals. So in this particular point, we are going to study about what are the different problems in the healthcare system. We are going to study what is the role of the person in maintaining good health. We will study some issues related to health and illness. And we are going to study the role of psychology and how this role has emerged in the recent years in the progress of health psychology. Lastly, we are going to study the application, that is the need of health psychology in today's times, the changing patterns of illness. We all are today facing the pandemic period and we have realized how the patterns of illness have been changing. Few years back, people were very much affected by the dreaded disease of cancer and then AIDS, and now it is the corona. We are going to see expanded healthcare services and increased medical acceptance. So, the first unit basically deals with the introduction to health psychology. The second unit here is on stress and coping. As discussed earlier, both these concepts have gained tremendous importance in today's times. Right from a small baby to an old aged person, each of us are constantly under pressure and are facing tremendous stress. At the same time, we also have to learn certain coping strategies. So, this chapter is going to deal with both stress and coping. The first point is stress, that is an introduction of what exactly is stress, wherein we will see definitions of stress, nature, and what are the different types of stress. The second point over here is sources of stress. So what are the different sources of stress? Sources within the person, sources in the family, and sources in the community and society. The third point is responding to stress. So how an individual responds to stress, what are the physiological, emotional and behavioral responses and what role they play in basically handling stress. Lastly, we are going to study some coping behaviors which are mentioned further. Problem focused coping, we will study Ellis's rational thinking. So Albert Ellis has given a very useful therapy that is called as rational emotive behavior therapy. I guess you would have heard about it. It is also called as REBT. Then we will study positive reinterpretation and how humor plays an important role as a stress reducer, and emotion focused coping, in that using systematic problem solving, using time more effectively and improving self control. Basically this whole unit deals with stress and coping. Then we have the third chapter, which is based on chronic health problems and its management. Here, in the first point, we will study personal issues in chronic health disorders, the physical self, the achieving self, social self, and private self. What role they play in maintaining good health or how they contribute in various chronic health disorders. The next point here is emotional response to chronic health disorders. In that, we would be studying denial, anxiety, and depression. The third point here is the major chronic health problems like heart disease, hypertension, stroke, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and AIDS. And lastly, in the application, we will study the psychological interventions for chronic health disorders, in which we will go through pharmacological interventions, individual therapy, social support interventions and relaxation, stress management after COVID-19. Basically, this whole unit is dedicated towards the different chronic health problems or the chronic disorders and how we can cope or manage them. Lastly, the fourth unit is based on primary prevention and health promotion. In this, the first point is on quality of life and health behavior, wherein we are going to study something about the concept of quality of life and what are adequate behaviors that one must practice towards a healthy being. Here we will see changing health habits and health beliefs, attitude change and placebo effect. The second point over here is health compromising behaviors or the characteristics of health compromising behaviors, wherein we will study those behaviors that goes against being healthy human beings. Among them, we are going to study obesity, smoking and drinking. In the fourth unit, the next point is developmental, gender and socio-cultural factors in health. So friends, as we know, there are a number of factors or determinants that contribute towards good health, or they are also the different causes for various disorders. In this particular point, we are going to discuss certain developmental specific characteristics or some disorders that are related to gender and socio-cultural factors that determine the different health issues. Lastly, we have the point on health promoting behaviors. See, the whole purpose of this particular paper is to promote good health. Friends, every year we celebrate the World Mental Health Day on 10th of October and we specify or we highlight the importance of healthy being. Now, health does not alone mean physical health. Today, everybody has understood the importance of mental health as well. So, when we talk about health, it includes physical, mental, emotional well being. So, in this particular chapter, in the last point, we are going to study certain health promoting behaviors which are an important aspect of life. Among them, we would be studying diet, exercise, sleep, rest, vaccination and screening, and accident prevention. Basically, as we have seen earlier, the different outcomes of this particular paper, we must realize that once we have studied this whole paper in detail, each one of us will understand why health is important, what are the factors that are going to affect health. We are going to study something about stress and the coping strategies. We are also going to study over here what are the different causes for chronic disorders or why one gets affected by this chronic disorders, how he gets affected and how one must cope with them. And lastly, we are going to study about good habits or healthy habits which everyone must inculcate for better health promotion. Friends, there are some books which we can read as reference books. Among them, the first one is Health Psychology, which is written by Ogden. Then we have yet another book with the same title, Health Psychology, Biopsychosocial Interaction, written by Sarafino, Edward and Smith and Timothy. Then we have another book, Health Psychology, which is written by Taylor and Shelley. Yet another reference book is Psychology Applied to Modern Life, Adjustment in the 21st Century. It is an Indian edition. It is written by Witten and Lloyd. So these are some important readings or reference books that you can go through for this particular paper. Before we conclude, I wish to share some important links with you. The first among them, which every one of you must be used to, is unipune.ac.in. That is University of Pune. AC is for academics and IN stands for India. We must always make it a practice to visit this website regularly because all the important updates regarding examination, syllabus revision, and other important announcements regarding our course will be made on this particular website. Secondly, all of you must also visit this website regularly, which is our college's website, that is kthmcollege.ac.in. This is again an important website which tells you all important announcements regarding your course and they are college specific. After that, another website which you must know is mvperp.org. I think all of you are familiar to this website because for your admission purpose you would have referred this website. And lastly, we have kthmelearning.in. We have the YouTube channel and we have developed our own learning portal. So KTHM e-learning portal is one portal wherein you can find all the material that is related to your particular subject, related to your particular course. It is a learning portal which is available to all students and you will get to watch all the videos regarding your course on this portal. We also have a YouTube channel with the name KTHM e-learning. Once you go to this particular channel, you can go and watch the different playlists over there. In the playlist of psychology, you will be able to see all the videos that are posted in the subject psychology. However, the links of all the important videos are shared on the Google Classroom of your particular class. So this was an overview of the syllabus. I hope all of you have carefully listened to this overview. In the next video, we will be discussing the syllabus in detail. Thank you.